Medieval Spawn's past has been a mystery to most, until now. Fighting dragons, wizards, and hordes of monsters, Sir Jon of York cuts a bloody path across history. Medieval Spawn, issue number 1 from Image Comics. So in this, we are going to get the backstory of Sir Jon. His origins are finally going to be revealed according to the solicitations. So we start off this issue with Sir Jon and his brigade of men, and he comes across this little boy who's freezing to death. This little boy is Richard. And this story is going to be about how meeting Richard was one of the worst things that has ever happened to Medieval Spawn. And so he takes Richard in, gives him food, campfire, and Richard tells his story. He talks about how his entire village has been overrun with the plague that has turned everyone into demons. And the only reason why Richard escaped was because he got lucky. That morning, some of his father's flock had gone missing, and Richard was sent to go find them. And when he returned back to the village, it had been transformed. And he tried to find survivors, but he couldn't get close enough. There were demons everywhere. And so he thought it would be best to search for help. But as he was wandering out to try to find the nearest village, the storm has led him astray. And so they're talking amongst each other, and Jon asks, was there anything unusual that happened in your village before this whole plague started? And Richard mentions that there was a knight who arrived the night before, and they believe that this knight is Fitzroy. And Richard's confused, he doesn't know who that is. And so Spawn tells the story of Geoffrey Fitzroy, who 5 nights ago he broke into the Black Vault, and it's a fortress that houses items of great magical power, and he killed some guards and stole a cursed amulet. And Spawn and his brigade have been pursuing him ever since, but the storm has slowed their progress. And Richard's confused about why would he have anything to do with our village? And Spawn wants to figure it out. So once this storm has kind of cleared up a bit, they travel to the village, and it is covered in flesh growth. This reminds me very much of the SCP, The Flesh That Hates. That's pretty much what I'm getting from this story, where we have some soldiers showing up to a village covered in flesh growth, and everyone there is basically all messed up. Spawn tells Richard to stay with the horses, and him and his men go in, and as they're searching around, they get attacked by these flesh demons. So yeah, very much reminding me more of The Flesh That Hates. And we just pretty much get a battle with Spawn and his brigade fighting against an entire village of these flesh demons. And so the battle is brutal and violent. Eventually his men tell Jon, press on, we'll try to hold these demons off. You try to see if the knight is here. And Jon goes deeper into the village, and he discovers the knight. He tries to attack him, and the knight shoots out this magic blast that knocks Spawn back, and basically says, have you heard the screams? Because that's all I'm hearing. Am I really the only cursed one around here? And he talks about how he was in the service of the king, and months ago he found his mind besieged by screams of all those who had died by his hand. And since that day he has had no peace. But this demon, or this entity named Abraxas, has assured him that all these people that he's sacrificing will be revived upon Abraxas' return, and Abraxas promises to ease the screams in his head. And Jon has no idea who Abraxas is, and Fitzroy explains that he is my master. He is a god who has been imprisoned in another realm for centuries. He came to me in a vision and promised to undo my mistakes in return for freedom. And Jon decides to battle Fitzroy because he realizes this guy is just out of his freaking mind. And so Fitzroy creates a sword out of flesh. And again, it just reminds me of The Flesh That Hates, where everything starts being made out of this flesh. But we have a battle. Jon gets the upper hand. He's about to deliver the killing blow when Fitzroy uses his powers once again to blast Jon back. And he's going to create this huge blast that he hopes to kill Jon. Out of nowhere, an arrow flies through the air, hits the knight in the face, through the eye, and then Jon comes in and kills him. And as he's delivering the fatal blow, Fitzroy basically says, I'm sorry, I just wanted to be free of the screams for a moment. And Jon's like, I understand. I hear them too. We're both damned. But the damned do not get to forget their mistakes. And then he kills Fitzroy. And they decide to burn the village. There's nothing that can be done to save these people, and all we can do is just burn the village down and hope that that kills everything and wipes out the plague. And then Richard basically says, I want to help you destroy this demon. I want to join your mission. And Jon's like, well, you've proved yourself worthy. I will train you as my squire. Just know the path is not going to be easy. We will begin in the morning. And then as they walk away from the burning village, he starts talking about how very few things haunt me as much as my decision to train Richard. All the pain and suffering that decision would unleash. I would have snuffed that life out of the boy then and there if I knew about the pain he was going to cause. Which makes me very confused about what exactly is Richard going to be doing. That's going to be like Jon's worst moment ever. But that is Medieval Spawn, issue number 1. I'll say that I enjoy this. Artwork is okay. It's not the same quality that you would get from mainline Spawn. Mainline Spawn is pretty much known for like its beautiful interior artwork. Fortunately, sometimes the story doesn't live up to that. This one feels like the other way around, where the story seems a lot better. Well, I don't want to say the story seems better than the artwork. The artwork is fine. It's not as good as mainline Spawn, but it's still good. It's still decent. I like the story. I noticed that when it comes to these like Spawn crossovers, that all the Spawn series that does not have Todd McFarlane writing the story tend to be a lot better. Because even all the other stuff, while McFarlane isn't writing the scripts, he is coming up with the plot and the story. So he basically comes up with the story, he gives it to the writer, and then the writer turns it into a script. And a lot of those stories seem to just be kind of weird and out there and just, I don't know, very convoluted, very cliche. I mean, I still enjoy them, but they are very much just kind of slop. They're fast food comics. They are something that you can eat to fill your stomach, but it's not healthy. It's not high cuisine or anything like that. That's what I feel like with most of the Spawn stuff, especially the stuff that Todd McFarlane actually comes up with, like his stories. Whereas all the other stuff, like the Gunslinger series, not the regular Gunslinger Spawn, but the other, like, I forget what it's called. It's like Tales of Spawn, Gunslinger Spawn or something. It's basically Gunslinger Spawn stories set in the past, like during the Wild West. So it's a spin-off of Gunslinger Spawn, which itself is a spin-off of Spawn. So it's a spin-off off a spin-off. But that run has been really good. I haven't really covered it on this channel, but it's been a pretty good ride so far. Meanwhile, like I said, the other like main spin-offs, they're okay. I enjoy some of them, but a lot of them aren't as good as the spin-offs of the spin-offs, which is just very, very funny to me that the spin-offs are better than the main line, and the spin-offs of the spin-offs are better than the spin-offs, which are better than the main line. It seems like the further we get away from Todd McFarlane having any say in what's going on, the better the stories become. I'm kind of rambling. I guess what I'm just trying to say is that this is pretty good so far. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I think the stuff that we're getting that Todd McFarlane doesn't have his fingerprint on is a lot better than the stuff that he is currently involved in. So I enjoyed this issue, and I'm looking forward to see where this series is going to be taking me. But there you go. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you next time. Take care. Later. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, I still want to thank you for watching it this far, and I hope the next one is more to your liking. With that said, thank you once again, and I hope you guys and gals have a good one. Later.